You come real, just a little. You supposed to hold me down, but you holding me back, and that's the sound of me not calling you back. Why men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the armchair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh coat up with the bottle lighting. No man on the Minnesota Vikings. True hurt needed something more exciting. To break my heart.
What you doing this morning, Spoon?
I was reading a message from the guys.
No sound. No sound of me go, oh, hold on. My bad. I had my speakers off. What are you doing, Spoony?
I was reading a message from the team.
What'd they say?
I don't know. They're talking about that deal in that awesome shit shack they went and looked at in Weatherford yesterday.
How'd it look?
Oh, if it looked anything like the pictures, it looked like a walking nightmare.
Yeah? What did we offer?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to figure out. He said they were talking. I think he said they offered like 8 or something.
Sounds high.
Yeah, it does to me too. No, I take that back. $50.
$50?
I don't think they really offered $50, but I think that was just a joke. It's a screenshot of another.
Was it the double decker, or was it the one that the seller's dad wanted to sell?
I don't know. No, the double decker, he was just a drive by.
Dude, that thing, like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't care what condition that thing's in. I want it.
I don't understand how they built that because the siding was different on 2. It had to be 2 that were just stacked.
No, it was. That's why I want it. I don't care what it takes. I want that in my life. Like, how is that even possible? How's that even possible? Let me see if I can.
I've seen the double. I mean, we've both seen like 2-story mobiles before. They make them. They're weird.
What? I've never seen one.
Oh yeah, there was an
internet folklore.
Where was that lake at that they used to put them in, and they had weird stuff. Man, I'll think of that later. Hey, dude, I walked into a door header like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I creased my head like, oh my goodness. Oh. Anyways, so hey, do you got to put anything in there that says, hey, we don't own the rights to this song, so we don't get demonetized? I'm just kidding. We don't have followers.
There's not a. You got to monetize on YouTube. You've got to have 300,000 watch minutes. 300,000, and you've got to have 1,000 subscribers. So we don't have the number of subscribers, and we don't have it now. Propelio. This is just what I've seen. I've seen this with my own eyes. Seen it right here on somebody's phone screen. Actually, I've seen it on Max Maxwell's phone screen, and I've seen it on Propelio's. So Max Maxwell, at the time that I saw his phone, like what he had earned up to that point in that month was like 11 grand. And so the way that prorated out, it was going to be like $30,000 for that month just in YouTube revenue. Propelio, who has, I think they've got like 6,000 or 7,000 followers, or at least subscribers, millions of watch minutes, millions. Like, people watch the shit out of Propelio because they put out so much content. It's good content. You're learning the whole time. So, if you need to go learn something, you jump on there and you got it. They make like $400 a month. So, or at the time. And it was like, and that was when I did the Max Maxwell interview, which was last year. So that can tell you how hard it is to monetize anything when it comes to YouTube or any of that stuff. Now, does that mean that if we made $4,000 or $5,000 or $1,000 a month, that we couldn't put it back into a better studio, better sound equipment, stuff like that? No, like we would totally take it, but we're years away, I would think.
Well, oh, for sure. And don't let that number about what you just said, whatever Max was making, like $30K for a month, there's no telling what his production costs are. That guy's got a legit production.
Yes and no. So I've researched all this because it's a direction that I would like to go eventually. Like, for production cost, with if you wanted like a studio, like Propelio's got, they probably got 200,000 in that studio, face value, props, everything else. Now they're buying everything somewhat used. You know what I mean? You can get good quality cameras, somewhat used, but when you got three people sitting there behind the production screen, you know what I mean? Each one of them you can figure is 35, 40,000 a year on the other side. You know what I mean?
Right.
Putting that up there. The production quality is always going to be top notch, but I would say anybody that's going to start a YouTube channel or anything, you cannot base it on that. You can't look at Propelio and what they put into their studio and say, well, I'm not going to get started, or I'm not going to make that investment. I don't necessarily want that.
Well, my point with Max's stuff wasn't what he's making or what he's not making or what the cost was. My point is he's making something because he's giving away all the knowledge he's aggregated for free. He is just giving wide open content to people. And
you don't watch Max Maxwell, I guess.
No.
So that's why you don't know. He is giving away a lot of knowledge. But I mean, I could go pull it up right now and tell you how many videos a day he puts out, but it's Gary V-ish. You shared with me the chopping up of content. That's a $30,000 a year position that sits in an office somewhere, takes what he does. He has a camera guy. That's a $30,000, $35,000, $40,000 position. Mm-hmm. So the production cost is not that much in the big scheme of things for what he gets out of it. You get what I'm saying? But it didn't arrive overnight. You didn't get 141,000 subscribers overnight. The quality of the content, it's basically a reality show. When I'm out walking with my cell phone and it's shaking and vibrating and doing whatever, he's got a camera guy, maybe even two camera guys, you know what I mean, and his cell phone capturing B-roll footage while he's at the property, and he's talking to maybe a newbie, or he's talking to the homeowner, or he's talking to a local city official. It's basically, if you were going to take Chip and Joanne and they go in and remodel a house, he's out in the field doing what we already do every day with just a camera crew following around. Now, it's paid off for him. The space, when there was a huge vacuum there, when Max Maxwell entered that space, he recognized it. He saw it and was like, oh, man, there's nothing about wholesaling on YouTube at all that isn't some guy sitting in front of a whiteboard, you know what I mean, in some dingy office. There's no quality video. Max is a savvy businessman, so he jumped into that space quickly and, you know, and put 110% effort into his content, where when he started, it looked like he was using a GoPro and some other stuff. But I mean, there's a guy on YouTube right now. He shows up. I don't know where he's out of. He's out of somewhere up north. He buys a house. Maybe he does 2 or 3 houses at a time, but he buys a house for $12,000, sets up time-lapse cameras, remodels the entire thing himself. Like, you don't see a helper one in one of those time lapses. Makes a time lapse video of the start to finish. Like, buys a house for $12,000, start to finish, like everything. And his videos get like 11, 12 million views because he's not secular into investors. You know what I mean? He's got the moms that think it's just cool shit, but his video editing, his quality on the editing is like phenomenal. And I mean, I don't know what that pays.
That dude's got the HGTV crowd.
He's got the HGTV crowd. 110%. He's got the
Pinterest crowd. He's got everybody that ever wanted to do a flip and watch the TV show about it.
Dude, but it's unbelievable. Like, it's a crazy amount of work. Like, I couldn't do it. So what's up, Spoon? What's the state of the union right now? What are we working on?
Dude, I went out to I'll tell you what, I have racked up a ton of failures over the last week. Just in not failures. It'll only be failures if I don't learn from it. So I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way. But I'm somebody that kind of thrives off negative reinforcement. I like to know where I screwed up so I can try to fix it and move forward and not repeat those instances. So we picked up, I don't know, man, we picked up a lot of properties in the last few months. We picked up 8 last month. And Corey and Jacob, they've been busy with many other things. Poor Jacob, he's had his head in the ground like an ostrich, just dealing with some problems, or not problems, just dealing with business stuff. But I started doing these hotel, or not well, we hotel first, right? Corey knows we hotel first. We let them set a couple weeks so we don't get any movement. We start putting renters in them. Well, I have never like flipped, made ready, whatever you want to call it. I've never done anything on a trailer. And on these that we picked up, I didn't evaluate them well on the purchase side. I didn't make the right offers. And with that said, we still bought at a good price. But why are you giving me dirty looks, Corey?
What's the difference in a house? Pier and beam. What's the difference in a Toller house and one of the trailers?
It's not any difference. But
they all need an air conditioning, a roof, a foundation. They need to be level. They need to be livable. Need to have flooring.
Mm-hmm.
You can't lean on. I don't know how to evaluate a trailer house.
Okay, whatever, man.
You can keep saying it, but ain't nobody gonna believe it.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm sitting here saying I fucked up. You can't.
I don't believe you fucked up. I don't believe you fucked
up. What?
That's not what I believe in my heart of hearts. I believe right now that even thinking about it in that direction is like it's. I don't know. Like for me, I wouldn't fathom that. Like I wouldn't be in that mindset.
Okay, well that's a good thing.
That's just me, because it's like, at what point does this deal become a terrible deal?
Oh, none of this point. I mean, it's still an okay deal. All of these are okay deals.
Well, let's write them down.
We just got to get them rented. What I look at is like, that's the way I think it's from working for the military for so many years. Like you just figure out where you screwed up and you identify it and you block that thing off and you try never to do it again, right?
Maybe.
Here's some things I didn't notice. I didn't notice a couple of the tub pans that had repairs on them because they'd painted over the repairs. That's some stuff. Huh?
What'd you say? Oh my!
I didn't notice that the tub pans in a couple of the trailers had repairs on them, and the repairs were popping out because they had painted over them.
What's a tub pan? I don't know what
like the tubs itself, the plastic tubs.
Right.
That's not a screw up. That's something I didn't know. I didn't even think about looking for that. But it's fun, right?
We've got two completely different opinions about this. The lady was willing to owner finance those houses with 0% interest.
I get that, but I didn't know any of that. I went into an offer. I went into the offer. Nick called me and said, "Hey, I'm going to go run these leads. Do you want to go with me?" I said, "Sure, let's go." We went down there. She said, "I want this in cash." And I said, "Would you take this in cash?"
I had a 0% owner finance offer accepted on the phone that disappeared in between the time that y'all went out there and started big dicking with cash because y'all had a little money in your pocket. Like,
I mean, whatever happened. I didn't know that we had that offer. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna try to get the next ones.
I'm so frustrated about this. Y'all did know about it. Like that's literally what I said in the message when I sent it to the group message was, hey, and I don't care to argue about it no more. Y'all went out there, y'all feeling all swaggy. You were like, oh, I'm going in here. We got some money. I'm gonna throw my money down on this table and I'm gonna make her take it and like it. Or she might have been playing, oh, I'm so sad. I'd really like to get some cash.
No, I don't know. I barely talked to her, man. Like I told you,
I get it. Trust me, I get it. Like I get it. Nobody likes negotiating against a little old lady. She's a little old lady. Okay, felt like you're gonna take advantage of her, and it affected the offer. Period. And that's
I don't believe
whether you want to believe it, whether you want to believe it or not, doesn't matter. Well, because your next offer, now that you know you made all those mistakes, where's your next offer going? Because we're buying more houses from her.
I mean, it's way lower. It's owner finance only. I know that.
But that's what you're going to do now because you know what you know from messing up on this one, right?
Yeah. But it's still not a mistake.
So now, hold on. But now you get to punish the actual culprit because she's the one that got hooked up on the sale on this one. So you actually get to try to get a little bit of it back on your next offer to compensate for this one.
Mm-hmm.
However that works out. This happened. This is years worth of, looking at it from the seller side of things and not our side of things, right? I've got to be able to rent this house and make money, which means I on a trailer house, and this isn't leverage in a negotiation. This is just the facts. On a trailer house, if I go to a bank and I say I want to borrow money against a trailer house, what kind of terms are they going to give me?
I have no idea.
Shitty ones. They might only do a 15-year loan. They might give me 8% interest. Why? Because they've got all the fucking cards. I need money. They're sitting there. You know what I mean? I don't have any leverage in this negotiation, so we pay our bills on time. It's still a fucking trailer house to the bank, okay? So when this happens, when you end up in these scenarios, okay, you're not going to be owner-occupied. You're going to be an investor owning it. You have to make an offer where that debt service coverage ratio, whenever you do have to do a rehab like we're doing, is down. The offer is where it matters. It's where it counts. And I wouldn't focus on anything about where we're at right now other than getting these things rented. That's the only focus. Like sitting there and thinking about what could have happened. It goes all the way back to the offer. I've never seen the lady. She's nice, sweet lady. No doubt. And she brought it on. She whooped y'all's ass in that negotiation.
Sure.
Just curb stomped y'all. She put it, just fucking annihilated y'all. And that's okay, because that's where the mistake was. Not anything to do with
I don't agree with that. My point was, I was just trying to talk through some of the issues that I found that maybe other people might not find.
Okay, we got 1, 2,
3, 4.
4 houses in Stephenville.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the addresses. We got a double wide and 3 single wides, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How's the double wide doing?
Double wide's being shown right now.
Shown by who?
All right, it's people that have called into our system.
Whose numbers on that? Whose numbers on it?
Right now, it's y'all's number.
Okay, that needs to change. Here's what we're gonna do. Whitley, come here. So it's rent ready. It's ready to go. Ready. That's what that means. Ready. Okay. What about the single wide sitting off by itself? What's its hold up?
There's probably a day left on it. They were working on it yesterday.
What are they working on?
Fixing the wall where it rotted out.
A rotted wall.
It's just it's where there's a leak behind a tub. They were fixing some drywall.
Well, that would have probably. Don't let the contractors get in there and whoop your ass. You already got beat by the seller. Don't get beat by the contractors. A rotted wall will rent behind the shower. Never mistake that. This thing, if they can sit their big ass in a tub and not fall through the floor, that's rent ready. So it's just truth. Right. It's just the truth. Like you when contractors go in there, what's their objective? They're going to put their name on that project. They won't put that name on their project, so they want to take the pride. But what's their other objective? Whitley just said it.
Make money, but he's only
make money. So are we going to own these? Do you plan on owning these? Are you leaving these to your kids?
No. Well, maybe. I don't know. We don't have a choice.
You better. This one's rent ready. It sounds like too. We're just slow poking around on it. Now the 2 shitty ones. These are the 2 shitty ones. They had some tenants already, right?
They had tenants at $550.
I'm talking about roaches.
Oh yeah. Did
we ever kill roaches?
The bad one today.
So because Whitley, we're getting feedback on. Have you sent people to these?
Which ones?
These are ones in Stephenville.
I've only sent someone to the Colombian.
Which one is this?
The top one, first one.
Top one.
Okay.
What was your feedback with him?
That it's nice that they were going to get back to me today about application.
Okay.
They were just worried about the deposit because I told them $700 on it.
Now we've learned that tenants without a deposit are terrible tenants. So we don't need to get antsy. Just tenants without a deposit are terrible fucking tenants. They leave in the middle of the night. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, so now they might. The other thing they were being quoted the deposit was the same as rent, and that's not the truth. So our deposit's always less than rent, and there's reasons for that. You don't want the tenant to think that they can leave or quit paying in the last month and you're just going to keep their deposit. Get what I'm saying? You don't want them to have that mentality. You want to separate. You want the rent and deposit to be different because you don't want them to think when they get to the last month of their lease they're not going to pay, and you just keep my deposit.
Do they ever just try to send you a check for the difference?
No, it's not. It's a mentality. Like, it's a mentality when the rent and the deposit is the same. It's just a simple thing that they connect in their head, and they say, "Oh,
You already have your rent.
You already have your rent. I don't have to pay this month. You already got it. I'm moving out at the end of the month anyways." If you just sever that disconnect by making the rent lower, and this is something that came from Stuart Miller, if you sever that disconnect by making the deposit lower, they'll never believe that. You know what I mean? Because the deposit's not enough to cover the last month rent, so they'll never get into that mindset. And they never try to pay the difference like what you said. It just doesn't. It's just a mindset.
That's really smart, man. I've never even thought about that. All you ever see is like first and last, right? Or first and first.
Yeah, no, yeah, I get it. And that's where the mindset comes from. That's where they get a little bit fucked up. So on 3 and 4, what we do?
3, the only thing that needs to be done, there's a big chunk of flooring they laid like tile in there, and it's all like literally falling out of the trailer. Like, I don't know how to explain it, dude. There's they laid tile over linoleum, and it's all the grout and stuff. It's just popping loose. That's next on the list.
Okay. Hold on.
I've never seen a laydown like that. It's a real weird. It's hard to explain. But that's the only thing keeping that one from being rentable.
Floor issues, and I guess Gary's working on it.
Yes, that's what I was going to get to next.
Okay, number 4.
4, that's the one with previous tenants. That one, I've bombed it twice. We're fogging it again today. We're having trouble getting rid of the previous tenants.
Okay, so have we called an exterminator?
Yes, of course. This would be his second trip over.
Okay.
And he's going to be there at 11 today.
Okay.
So he's already been there once. He said it typically with this kind of infestation, it takes 2 to 3 times to get them out, but may take 4. Like, anyways, that one is a significant is an interesting deal. And
what's the timeline on this one?
Well, that I don't have yet because Gary can't finish 1 and 2. All of these were supposed to have been done 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but we got Enrique. You and Gary almost got in a fist fight over you giving away Gary's work. But this is where it's man hours. This is a man hour equation.
I understand that. So I went down to 1 and 2 yesterday to figure out who was doing the work, or just check on it, see where it was at, because it was supposed to be done Sunday. This is what we got in a fist fight over. I call him back. I'm like, "Where are we at?" He's like, "Oh, it didn't get done. I got life issues. That's not that. You know what? You can, And I'm like, "All right, dude, but why would you tell me it's going to be done Sunday?" That's the only reason I'm asking. Anyways, he's got a subcontractor working that literally lives across the street from 1. So that guy.
Come here.
So Gary went out. What? Who are you talking to, bro?
Well, you're telling me a big long story about Gary's mama issues, and I just really don't care. All I want to know is, like, if we can get a new contractor, just imagine the possibilities if we had another contractor that could fix this floor issue, and we got him interviewed. What's wrong with the guy that we used on Pecos Court? He works on trailer houses. He wants that trailer house out there in the ditch that DOT is telling us to move. What's the matter with getting him out there and seeing what he would charge to do it? He's not going to charge us to go out there and tell us a price. So these are them. Okay. This floor issues, you need to get another contractor, because all that's happening every single day, we're paying an interest payment every day that is hitting this bottom line. The rotted wall, that's some sort of upsell unless it's visible and you can see it. And even then, you know, it just is what it is. Water wall behind a tub is just, it's beyond me. I've seen Gary's work. I don't even know if Gary could fix that properly.
Gary
You know
didn't
what I mean?
fix it. The contractor that was across the street that lived in that house did. He does good work.
Okay, so Gary's not working here. Gary's working here.
Gary, I put Gary on both of these, and he hired the guy across the street from these houses that is a contractor and is charging us up on those.
Good for Gary. What? So I don't, maybe. What's Gary actually physically working on?
That's a good question. This is what I did all day yesterday, working through. I went through all these houses. I didn't make it back to Toller last night. I got home about 8 o'clock. So I got to go hit Toller today and look at it. Toller, it's a whole different problem. But
Not done yet?
no, it's done. The only thing's missing, there was a couple pieces of rock around the fireplace that need to be put back up. But other than that, the house is fine. It's rentable right now.
Okay. This is funny, putting that up there. So
Yeah, no, I've been trying not to laugh at the poor this poor. I don't even understand what's going on with you and your new love interest, Luis.
oh man.
Anyway, so all right, number 4. That's a whole different problem. But I'll get what's his name to look at it. I'll get Glenn to look at both of them.
I get it, but this is when money's not the issue and it becomes a man hours, it's time to start interviewing contractors. You want to do your guy Gary, right? But when Gary can't get to it, it's time to bring in Jose. All right, Granberry. Whitley, have you sent anybody by?
Vegas.
Well, we got one, we got Pecos.
That's the only one I know of.
No, there's 2 more.
That's not
so
true.
Another one's rented. One of them's rented, ain't it?
Yeah, one's rented. We just talked about these on the phone earlier.
yeah.
She's trying to throw me under the bus. She's like,
Shut
fuck
the hell
this.
up. What is it?
So,
Number 3, get the info today.
One is rented. The other one is the one that Enrique's finishing today.
God, your writing is like a
I know it's bad. Number 3 is it a single wide or double wide?
Double wide. Single wide's rented. The double wide's not rented.
And this one, what do we like on it?
Just
This the one that Enrique's doing?
Yeah.
How long?
He should be done today.
Now, I'm going to ask you my time-honored question. Is there for rent signs in all of these properties?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Number 4 is Toller. So
There's not a rent sign there. They're going out today.
number 4 is Toller. And, I mean, Whitley, you know anything about Toller?
Yeah, he told me today.
So this is what's going to happen. Whitley's going to get all this information coming in because it's going to come into our call center. And she's at the end of every day before she leaves, she's going to figure out how to get it into a file, and she's going to send it to you and Cody Creamer. And you are going to go rent these houses because, Whitley, how many others you got to rent?
A lot right now.
45.
I am totally good with that. I will go meet every person. Do you want me to go change the numbers on all the signs today?
I don't care. The signs are doing their job. They're capturing them. They go into whatever. Now, if this is kind of how I envisioned it in my head when I was telling you to put your number on the sign, I thought we would have one ready, and by then we would already have a tenant.
I did too.
And so on and so forth. But it looks like we've got this one's rent ready. Toller is rent ready. I don't know what rocks next to fireplace have to do with a tenant. They can throw the rocks at each other. You know what I mean? Like this is rent ready. Rent ready. They can throw the rocks in their yard and use them for landscaping, whatever they want to do. Pecos has its own set of problems that somebody has to drive them in.
But I will drive them in. We keep calling people. Nobody will come out.
But y'all got to have this sent to you every day because I promise you right now, whenever I go to Appfolio, right now. Whitley, whenever they go into Appfolio as just a random, do you have a way to change it to who where it actually belongs.
What do you mean?
Like, so when they call off of rent sign, Appfolio just puts them in as a lead.
Yeah, but on my email, it'll say, like, at the bottom, they'll have little comments, like what property they're actually interested in. So I know.
So they don't, so the call center doesn't put it in.
Mm-mm.
Where's it at? I can't
If
find
they
there's-
call off a sign, it comes in as GBT.
Yes, the corporate property.
Correct. And then I have to go to my email to find their name to see if they're actually put a comment in there or what. Or call them and be like, well, what city?
So
That's how I know.
that's how Whitley knows. All right, what we got is we got 763 leads right now. And when I click on them, we got Pecos Mobile Home Park, and then there's a GBT corporate, which is call up a sign. GBT corporate. Fort Worth, Abilene, Coleman, Fort Worth, Abilene, Fort Worth, Bull Run, Fort Worth, Abilene, Harlingen, Fort Worth, Cleburne. So what she's going to do is she's going to pull all these Cleburne out. She's going to pull all the Granberries out that come in off of that folio, and she's going to dump them on y'all, and it will be up to y'all to get the.
I'll go run them all. That's no problem, man. I'll call them all. I'll go let them in. I will hold their dogs, in the yard while we're doing
I didn't say you wouldn't. This is what's going to take to get it rented faster, because Whitley's going to work down her list every day, and she's probably got, how many you got close to leasing right now?
We've got to get an inspection done on Kearns 102.
Okay.
I've got, everybody keeps calling in.
Hey, what do you do? What do you mean by inspection, Whitley?
City inspection.
City inspection. So I need to take the signs down in Hamilton.
Yes, because we don't have anything to lease there.
Signs down in Hamilton.
You are not going to remember that, so please don't write that.
I'm writing it.
Hey, I got a kid.
I remember it. Dang, Robin, look at you all fancy.
Hey, Whitley.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a kid in Malakoff now to do some work if y'all get hung up in Kearns and need something.
What is that kid's name?
I'll have to look it up on my phone. His Spanish kid. He's the one that did. He's been doing odds and ends for me out at Malakoff and Athens and stuff.
Okay.
Athens, great State of the Union on Athens. Is it listed yet?
No, it'll go to Courtney today. Me and Kramer went through it yesterday. We're gonna send it to Courtney. It's in her backyard. If she wants it, if not, it'll be the first person that answers the phone.
I thought Mauricio
dropped the ball the last time. I can get him on it. He'll do it.
Okay. Well,
Do you want me to send it to Mauricio?
No, I just wanted to know what happened to Mauricio. Sounds different, but Whitley, every day send all their leads to them.
Okay.
Email or give them access to that folio.
I'm in that folio. If she'll show me how to use it, I can.
No, I mean just give them access to those properties.
Jason has access to Appfolio.
He has access to everything. He just needs access to just those properties. Let's keep Jason focused. We don't want him accidentally calling a Fort Worth lead.
Okay.
And I seen you got 13. Yeah, probably, but it takes your time to write it down. Appfolio has the ability to do all this. Right or wrong, Jason?
I don't know. I've never looked in the leasing side. I'm sure you can whittle it down and just say this is
boom, boom, boom.
There has to be a way to do it by property.
I think I can set it to where.
You know who can? You know who can?
Jacob
next to you, Robin or Jacob. Just got to ask him. Hey, is somebody done?
Robin's in. Mess with her.
Robin's got.
Oh man. Hey, dude, I'm trying to quit drinking caffeine right now, and it is really jacking me up.
You know, you can quit drinking it, but that don't mean you can't have to stop having caffeine. You just got to pour it in your butt like DJ.
I like to put other stuff in my butt, Corey.
Stop. That's too much, Jason. You should never say that again in your life.
We can cut that clip out. We'll have that clip.
Please.
We will have that clip free.
That should be your bumper for your show.
Dang. So, anyways, those properties. When's our next? Yeah, I'm done. When's our next interest payment due?
Oh my god. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, I'm sure it's around the first, same time rents do. So we've got a full month to get it. Where you know what I mean? Like that's
I
the
get it.
timeline.
They got to
But
be
that's
done.
but that's not the timeline. You know what I mean? It's like, but
Timeline's
you know,
tomorrow.
I've got my own fires that I got a lot under my own ass. You know, if I wanted to do a whiteboard on me, it would be follow up with all my owner finance people in Coleman. We're going out there to meet with the city tomorrow. I've got to have, I've got the air conditioned bid. The guy texted it to me, which is wonderful. When you're going to talk to a bank, you got a good text to show the bank. So I got to get that out of text form and into email form. And then I got to get a materials list that he was supposed to have to me today. I got to follow up with him. So we go to talk to the bank in Coleman tomorrow about doing a construction loan for us. We have all of our ducks in a row. Here's labor, here's the air conditioners, here's the everything but the paid bid, because the paid bid guy can't go without going out there and measuring. He won't do it off Google Earth.
The
Yeah,
what
he,
kind of,
I'm
what
like,
kind
God, just do what?
are you saying pavement bid?
Yeah, pavement bid.
Okay.
So we got a bid for the fence, outside, inside, everything, labor only, $266,000. We got another $170,000 $170,000 in materials, and then we've got 120,000 in air conditioners, probably another 100,000 in paving. But anyways,
120K in air conditioner.
do what?
120K in air conditioners.
I think that's what it was.
You're gonna make somebody's year, some AC company's year.
No, that's the AC company is the general contractor on the whole job. He's literally going to make, you know what I mean? But timeline and all that. So the way that's going to end up working, at least for that apartment, is because the city's giving us all this bullshit, and the bank that we're going to talk to, anyways, it don't matter. I'm not going to say that on the internet, but here's the gist of it. What you're going to have to do in this situation for the bank, and you got to kind of decide how you do these draws on a big job like this. And this is going to be our first time doing it, so we don't really know how it's going to work, but this is how I envision it working in my head. Okay. So the note that we're going to need on it, we're going to need a 400K note on it from the one. And then we're going to need 266. We're going to need 170. And we're going to need 120. Okay. So what is that? 6, 14, 16, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, $966,000. Okay. Total cost of this project, $966. You see that? Now, 100 of that is my mistake. 100 of that 400 is my mistake. There's also holding costs and everything else. Like, this project is completely like going back and looking at this. Like, we're going to get the good 30-year AM loan, so this project will work in the situation because it's going to be worth about 1.6 when we're done. This isn't a project. This isn't how we envision this project. We were capped at 800,000 whenever we first took this project on, and it's just gone stupid, right? So here's where we're at now on the project. Now, these are hard numbers. This is what the guy that gave the bid, you know, is where he's at on it. Like, he said he swears to us he's not going to go over this. Okay. So there we are, $966,000, but you got to get 400 right off the bat. And then, you know, this lump sum of the other 566 is going to come 100K at a time. But that means you got to have the 100K to pay out, and then the bank reimburses you the 100K. So, you know, they give 400, you give 100, they give you your 100 back. And then the 100 goes into the next draw, and then you get another 100. And then the next one, another 100. Like, so you're going to have the 100 to pay the contractor with to get them to the next draw.
Right.
Before the bank comes out and does their inspection and pays you back. You know what I mean? And then you got the 100 back to do the next project. The entire time that this is happening, This property is, you're making interest payments. You're paying on it. Hopefully, with a bank, it'll be a lot better than what we raised the private capital to do this, the 12% capital to do this, but it's not feasible. It would kill us, like it would murder us. So this is one project that we got, and then we're going to do another 16 doors, 16 doors in Comanche, the same way, but it's going to be a lot softer, It's going to be windows, paint, fixtures, and ACs, not flooring in some of them, but not all of them. So it'll be a soft deal. Won't be near as hard of a project as this one.
So, man, that's well. So one of the reasons, I appreciate you bringing all that up because there's some good knowledge in that. One of the reasons I like to talk about, where I miss on stuff is I think it helps other people. Somebody else can be in that shoes or in your shoes at some point, right? Of course, everybody else has done this. Like, what's the first house I ever bought as a flip? I didn't know what I was doing right. I bought it off the MLS. And I offered them like 40 grand for it, and they said no. Whatever the price was, maybe it's 25 grand. I don't remember. It was on Wilson Street here in Cleveland. Bought it off the MLS. I only remember some of the details because they told me no, told me to go to hell, basically, on my offer. And then my granddad died, and the day we were having the funeral, they called me back and said, hey, we'll go ahead and take your offer. That house, it was the first one I ever made an offer on, and I walked away on the offer because I was scared. And it worked out. I ended up making like 10 grand on that house, which was a ton on a $40,000 flip, right? But that house is still there. Same couple still lives in it. I drive by it every now and then. They put in a picket fence, and you did something nice, right? But every one of those ones that I bought after that, I've learned little lessons on. Some were good, some were bad, and that's a lot of the times why I try to recap this stuff. And I appreciate you sharing your hits here, because what gurus do is they tell us about how easy it is to make money, but they never tell you about the pain. They never tell you about opening the wall, right, and finding a $30,000 problem.
Blake, no, we didn't have a $130,000 problem. We had. Anyways, I don't actually know. I don't actually have the numbers. It's probably more than 130 now because we had interest and we had the flood. I don't even like. No, when I told you earlier that I don't want to that I don't think about it. Like I don't think about that because none of what's already happened matters. What matters is getting the project complete. Now, what I was going to say is Blake, our good friend Blake, came to the R2R Cool Kids deal where we went to the tax auction the other day. You know what happened there?
Did he buy something?
He bought a house from a wholesaler in Longview. I don't know where he got the money. I don't know who he got the money from. He got it from some hard money lender. He's making payments
at the auction.
No, he bought it from a wholesaler out of Dallas. What's up,
Jason? Go to your email and see if what I just sent over assigned, if it went to you.
Kill that thing. No. So, anyways, go away, Whitley. Blake buys this house and he's going to flip it. He's going to flip this house out in Longview, right? Would you flip a house in Longview with all your crystal ball knowledge?
No, because it's such a long drive.
Well, that's your reason. Me, I'm not flipping a house in Longview because I'm not opening those walls. I'm not doing that sheetrock. I'm not doing that work, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Blake gets in. I was like, dude, just throw that thing on MLS. Some buy and hold investor will buy it. They'll rent it out. It'll be fine. He gets an offer that would have made it. I think he was going to walk with like 12 grand if he took the offer. Nice. But in his mind, he thought he's going to make 30 grand on this deal. Oh, so what happens when you start spending money you ain't made?
You go upside down.
Quick. So he had a cash offer right off the jump from a local investor. Didn't take it because he thought he was going to make 30 grand. Now he's 4 months into this project, opened up the walls, found termites, found the floor wasn't even connected to the wall. He's having to replace wall. It's a full stud gut rehab that he's having to foot the bill for the rehab. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's his money that he's putting into it. And it's Longview, Texas. It's October. I'm not saying it's not going to work out. I hope it works out great. But it makes that offer that you got at the very first, it puts it right into perspective for you. I could have had $12,000 and another deal. Now, if you don't have another deal behind that, that's why you don't want to take $12,000. I'm looking at the offer we got on Toller. The offer we got on Toller, we got a $75,000 offer on Toller, right? I'm looking at it out the corner of my eye. Like, you know, we kept countering 85, 85, 85, right? That's what we kept countering back. But I'm looking at the 75 because it's not getting any showings. There's no showings. There's no interest. So would 75 get us out with some biscuits and some gravy? You know what I mean? Like a little bit of grocery money that we could go down the road and do something else. Would it be better to take the guy's 75 right now or see if we can bump him to 78? You know what I mean? And get away from that deal so we go do something else. Why do we have that luxury?
Because why do we have the luxury to do that?
Why do we have the luxury to take a $3,000, $4,000 profit on the property? Why do we have that luxury?
Because we had multiple outs on this. We didn't plan on only having one out, and we didn't spend a whole lot.
Fuck that out. I don't give a shit about that out. Why can we take that offer? Why can we only make $3,000 on a $60,000 project?
Because it's not going to kill us one way or the other. Like
no, because our pipeline is full. Because we don't have to retire on that deal.
Right.
That deal, if we take that offer right now, and get away from it, we've got another deal to put that money on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That could double our money, but if it doesn't, guess what? We can, as long as we just make a little money, single home run. Single home run. But that comes from a full pipeline. When your pipeline's empty, you got to have a grand slam every single fucking time because the grand slam has to pay for all the fucking mistakes from the other ones.
Well, so this is something I was talking about with Nick, right? Like, you know, I said, hey, what are you going to do with your new contract? You know, and I'm like, you going to sell it? And I'm like, you know, because you and I've been through that. Like I was starving to death. I gave away a lot of equity to other people because I was starving to death, right? But sometimes you have to sell contracts, make your couple of $1,000s to move on down the road so you can get to next month until you can get a grand slam as a wholesaler. It's the same on our side too. We have to take those little hits every time that we can.
Who's going to buy his contract?
I would assume we are. That's what the structure was set up, right? We're either buying them or we're wholesaling.
What? So Nick's contract $65,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just run the math on that. Because Nick came here for a reason. Nick's work put in a lot of hours that he hadn't been paid for yet. So let's look at the numbers.
Yeah.
So 65,000, 100 minus 65 is 35,000. You take out $9,000 in holding and closing costs, or we'll just take out a full 10,000. So our $25,000 net. $25,000. Okay. You're on the internet right now, Brandon, yapping about that. Brandon, you're on the internet yapping about it. Yes. So
is that Nemi?
It's Nemi over there. He don't need to be talking about what he's talking about because he might not want the people that he's talking about to hear it because they got 3 initials and they don't take kindly to what he's talking about.
I don't know what that means. You can't really hear him. So
okay, well,
it sounded like talking around Steve.
25,000 is going to be that lick. Worst case scenario, 25 grand is the lick. Hold on, stop.
Go ahead.
Stop. I want you to look at the offer you're making this guy. You're asking him to sell the contract to you for $5,000. Okay, that's cool because it gets Nick $5,000. But there's a different way to get Nick $5,000. You shouldn't bring this up to a man like this that's already worked this hard. So 25,000. He brought the contract. If there's no title issues, he brought the lead. That's 40% in our pay structure.
10
40%
grand.
times 0.4.
It's 10 grand.
At $10,000. $10,000. I ain't paying him $10,000 for that contract.
Nope.
So you're making an offer on right now for him to sell that contract, and you know you ain't paying 10 grand for that contract. You know you ain't paying for it.
I understand that.
And that deal could sell for 130,000. And that's best case scenario. So at 130, we got that's a $55,000 deal. 55 times 0.4. That's $22,000. We're gonna give Nick $3,000 for a contract, and he'll make 22.
No, I get what you're saying. So what you're getting at is give him a draw against the sell price.
Is he on our team, or is he just is he on our team or not?
Of course he's on our team.
Well, they quit trying to offer to buy his contract from him.
I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I'm trying to make sure he gets fed next month.
Well, give him some money. Write the man a check.
We can do that.
No. We can do that. We can do that. We will do that. Write the man a check. You don't treat people this way. You don't.
That's what y'all did for me. Y'all paid me in assignments.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the right thing. That's what I'm talking about.
We paid you 10, 5.
You did.
I was standing there next to you.
Yeah, you're
Made
right.
an offer on a house and paid you a $5,000 assignment for it. And then did another one where I made the offer on the house and paid you a $10,000 assignment.
Absolutely right. 100%.
Those are that's apples and oranges.
Oh, I'm trying to get the guy paid. I thought that's what we were doing in this new structure.
Nick went out. No, yeah, you write the man a check. That's how you get the man paid. You write him a check.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
You don't offer him a couple $1,000s for his contract that he finally got because he went out and did what we asked him to do, which was market, brought his own lead, went on his own appointment, got his own fucking contract, and you know he needs money for rent next month, so you're going to offer him a couple of $1,000 for it. That pisses me off. Like, it makes me mad sitting here right now that you would even bring that up to him, because here's why that makes me mad. Here's why that pisses me off. Because we never did that to you. We stood behind you on the deal that they wholesaled for $75,000. We stood behind you and said, look, we understand you're going to get $5,000 on that deal, but don't get fucked. Don't get fucked by whoever's going to give you $5,000 on it. Know that we'll pay you $5,000 for it right now. Right now, we will pay you $5,000 for that. If they get just a hint squirrely, we'll pay you $5,000 for that and split the money with you on the backside.
You
talked us out of buying that deal. The only reason why we didn't buy that deal in hotel is because you talked us out of it. Whether you want to know that or not, doesn't matter. And I'm talking about the one that the neighborhood flooded, whatever that deal was. So do not bring that up to somebody that needs money. If the man needs money, you write him a check. If you got to write it out of your personal account, you write it out of your personal account. You don't sit there.
I've already written checks out of my personal account.
I know, but that
I will do whatever I got to do, man. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm not trying to be stingy. That's what I'm talking.
The right thing isn't telling him to assign that contract.
Okay, I thought it was.
If you're gonna give him advice about signing a contract, tell him right now to market the contract. Tell him to go market it for $30,000 and see if he can make $30,000 on it.
Okay,
because we're not gonna pay him $30,000 on it. We're not.
Right.
We're not. But somebody might, and that would be fair advice. Hey, if you need to sell that contract, you got it on your own. I know that we're on the team and this and that, but we don't really need money right now. We got deals. See if you can go get $30,000 for that contract, and that'll get you paid a little bit faster.
Okay.
That's fair advice. Oh, let me give you $2,000 for it. I mean, this ain't DJ. DJ gets $2,000 a month and paid hourly. Okay. So whenever he can't, when he goes out and buys chips for his truck and does this, does that, because he lives at home with mom and dad, and then he don't have money to pay his little truck payment. You know what I mean? His little repair bill on his truck because he put rims on it instead. That's time to pay the piper. You know what I mean? That helps DJ be a better person when he gets a little bit of money in his pocket. You know, and we're still not going to screw him on the accident deal. We're still going to make sure he gets paid. And on top of that, DJ actually got a contract to sign yesterday. He's making $3,000 on that shitty deal. Did you look at the shitty deal in Mahia?
Yeah.
He's making $3,000 on that.
It's a great $3,000.
No, it's a wonderful $3,000. But I'm kind of shocked that he did it. I'm kind of in the background. Like, he got the buyer out of Roughneck Real Estate. He got the deal from my old lawn guy. You know what I mean? Like my new lawn guy screwed my old lawn guy out of $3,000, and also assigning a deal out of the group. But no, I'm sorry if it seems like that's it. But that mentality, if the man needs paid now, okay, if he needs paid now, let's get him paid now, okay. Don't you don't do that. You just. That's
well, I'm trying to do what I think you're wanting me to do, man. I am confused.
I want you to keep in mind. This is what I want you to keep in mind, okay? Because here's why this is important. You asked me the other day if we were going to take on any more team members and do the split and stuff. And what was my response?
No.
What? No. What was my response?
It was no.
It was no, but there was a different response.
It was that we have to make $400K.
We have to make $400K just to pay them what they need to pay their minimum bills.
Mm-hmm.
It's what our team that we built requires whenever we did our first meeting to be able to pay their bills, $400K. We got to produce at a level that gives them the opportunity to make $400K.
Right.
Which means not only do we got to give sound advice, we've got to be the financial backing, we've got to provide the marketing, we've got to provide the experience, okay? And we have to do that at a high level. Now, if you want to add to that number, we can bring on more team members. But to me, our bases are covered right now. We got a solid team. And this don't include Cody Creamer's crazy ass bills. Cody's out there on his own because he's a licensed real estate agent, so he already gets all of our listings, and if he brings a deal, he gets paid just the same, and he gets the listing. So you understand what's at stake. Jeremy is bringing in contracts right now. Nick has one contract, and he's on another appointment.
I didn't hear that last part, man.
He's going on some more appointments.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good, man. I've been watching his ads go out, so he's getting appointments.
So, and then Luis,
we do a check-in every day.
And Luis has a full-time job, but he's still getting appointments.
And a lot of those, the ones he can't run, anybody else on the team will run them for him if he's getting them.
And poor little old DJ, he's out there mowing or fixing a water line or something right now. But in between all of that, he's actually went out and got his own assignment, and then did enough bandit signs in Waco. And I've still got a call that I'm playing tag with on a bandit sign lead that came from Waco that DJ put out. But between all of that, I mean, everybody's got a payday on the board. Jeremy's got one coming from the Fort Worth house. Luis has got one coming from Malakoff. Creamer's getting paid on both of those. Nick's got the one that he just contracted that if he needs a draw on the front side, we need to know that so we can anticipate what kind of equity to pull. If we're going to need to know what it's going to take to get it rent ready, somebody's going to have to go out there and look at this with him and put an actual mindset. Now, I don't think it's going to come to that. I think it's going to sell, and I think it's going to sell pretty quick. But we need to be ready to rent it or own or finance it. And then Jeremy's got the $106,000 deal and the $25,000 trailer, as well as the Fort Worth deal that's about to close. So everybody's got a little bit of grocery money coming. You know what I mean? You included, because you get a piece of all those deals. You know what I mean? You get a piece of every one of those. But I don't mean to be so upset, but
it doesn't bother me because I know what my intentions were. I'm trying to help the guy out. Like I thought I'm doing the right thing, and I'm telling you right now.
You've been on the other side of that.
I have been, and I've been doing everything. I'm not going to put his personal business out. That ain't.
I ain't asking you to. I'm not worried about the man's personal business.
Yeah.
He's got a need, and that's money. You had a need, and that was money, and you got $1,000. You got $1,000. That you were on that team somehow, some way.
I was.
You got $1,000,
dude. All I'm saying is, I thought that was what. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you're going to tell me I'm wrong, so it don't matter.
I don't think there's right or wrong. I don't think there's right or wrong. I think there's a mindset. There's a mindset that you're helping this man out. And this is where the breakdown happens. So he's got a deal right now. It's $65,000. Okay. You tell me what you would pay for that assignment. You hadn't even looked at it, so you just tell me.
I went out there the other day.
Okay, what would you pay for an assignment on that?
I figured that's a $5,000 assignment.
Okay, $5K. All right. What do you believe it's going to sell for?
I don't know. We know what we kind of think the comps are, but there's literally no comps for it.
I love buying deals like this. I love explaining to lenders. What is it going to sell for?
I mean, we think it'll sell for 120 to 130. That's what we know. So
120 to 130. We're buying it for $65K.
Yep.
We're going to sell it for 120 to 130. It's double.
I get it.
Okay. Even that's 50K. 10X. Now, what's to prevent? What is going to stop Nick, other than his loyalty and that he likes us? What's going to stop him when you give him a $5,000 bone that gets him through however long instead of 40% of 50K? What's going to keep him from going and finding the money on his next deal and doing this?
I don't know.
Nothing. Because why would he work? Think about all the free work he's already done. Bandit signs, everything else.
Like going out and digging at your place the other day, like that stuff.
He's gonna get paid for that. He's just got to submit an invoice to Jake Grill for $15 an hour, and he's gonna get paid for that. That's what everybody got paid out there the other day. But that ain't got shit to do with this. This is 5K to 50K in your heart that you believe. Now, this tells me something. This tells me something up here that either one or two things. You don't believe in this number. You don't wholeheartedly believe that it's going to sell for 130K. You don't wholeheartedly believe it. Otherwise, this number would be higher. Okay. You don't believe this. You don't actually believe this. Or you really, really think this is going to help a man out. If you think this is going to help a man, I mean, you don't believe this. This should be higher if this is true. I can dance around this subject all day long. But the fact is, he needs money. You know he needs money. And you think that a fair way to get him the money is to assign that contract, which would assign it to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're bringing the contract. Now that you bring the contract, do you get 40% of this? Is that where it goes to? Is that the move that's made there?
I don't know where it goes.
Or is it a 50-50 old deal that we used to do? Like, what do we do whenever we got somebody on the team that we made a deal with?
When we did that thing on the board the other day, you said we're either assigning over here or we're doing this.
No, I said the assignment pay structure would be different. So, in other words, if Nick brought this deal and wanted to assign it, wanted us to help him, wanted me to post it out, and somebody paid us a $50,000 assignment,
right?
That pay structure would be different because there's not, the title. Now we'd have disposition. We would have to figure that one out. We never wrote that one down. So when you get that assignment from Nick, when you take that assignment, does this become your 40%? Does it become 50%? Do we pay a little bit of Nick, a little charity money on the backside? Do we take him to eat? Do we take him to eat a steak?
Look, I
you see how it messes with my head?
Sit there and say just a minute ago, like there's no wrong answers, but you're sitting here telling me it's the wrong answer. So
it hurts me. It literally hurts me to my soul, to my core, to everything, that you believe that this is help. That is a dick and ass. That's all that is. And I don't think
No, you stop for a minute. You stop for a minute. What happened right now on Toller?
I don't know what happened on Toller.
We still haven't sold it. We still haven't sold a bunch of these.
Exactly. Which means you don't believe in this.
I thought, yeah, I don't know if it's going to sell for that. I thought getting him some money right now was helping him.
You were absolutely right.
That's what I thought was helping him, was getting him money right now.
Getting him money right now is helping him. It is helping him. You are right. How you get him that money is where everything else comes into it. It comes into your entire belief system. It comes into how you believe in the deal. It becomes what you believe you're going to do on the backside.
How many hotels we had that sold 6 months down the road?
Do what?
How many hotels sell 6 months down the road? How many sell 1 month?
What does that have to do with getting the man money versus
trying to get him money right now?
Then give him the money right now.
I just answered this a minute ago. I said, okay, I get it. You want me to pay?
When Jeremy came to work for us, did we give him money?
Yes.
Where did it come from?
It came straight out of the company.
Which company? GBT? Did it come from Dead 8? Did it come from you? Did it come from me? Who did it come from?
Dead 8.
Do what?
Dead 8.
Dead 8 funded Jeremy
to
help him out in his time of need.
Right.
Did we offer him an assignment on his deal in Fort Worth?
Nope.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, it was the wrong thing to do, Corey. It was the wrong thing to do. I'm a shitty.
It's not the wrong thing to do. It's not wrong.
I am trying to do the look, dude. You know what? Fuck this.
No, you have to figure this out.
I get it. You're telling me I'm wrong. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was helping the guy. I get it. I got a broken mindset. Everything's a broken mindset.
No, you're not. You believed in the deal in Fort Worth.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I just thought it was a deal, and we knew it would sell quick. So I guess you're right. I did
believed in the deal in Fort Worth. So that wasn't going to help Jeremy out. Giving him an assignment at the beginning wasn't going to help him out. You don't believe in the deal in Crescent. Okay. You don't believe in the deal in Crescent. So you think that him taking an assignment from us is helping us out. But who does that hurt?
Well, it depends. If it sells for $80,000, it don't hurt Nick.
It don't. You're right. But who does that hurt?
Well, it hurts us if it does that. And if it goes the other way, it helps us, and it I don't know that it hurts him, but it doesn't benefit him as much as possible.
Well, it hurts us if it sells for $80,000 and we pay him $5,000. So we're being selfless in that regard, which is why you feel like this is a selfless move, because you believe it's going to sell for $80,000.
I just don't know, and I know the guy needs to eat. Like, that's what I was trying to do.
So write him a check.
We can do that.
So no. Here's how you handle that. Hey, Nick. Yeah, what do you need to make your bills this month? Yep. Okay, cool. Hey, Corey. Yeah, Nick needs X number of dollars to make his bills this month. Cool. We'll split it with you. Right now, we'll split it with you. North Texas Property Solutions brings half. GBT brings half. We'll split it with you. Let's go.
Okay.
That's how you handle that. Now he gets all the benefits of what you say you believe, but you don't actually believe, because if you believed it, you wouldn't offer that deal. If you believed that was going to sell in 10 days and he was going to have his money in 10 days, it would be much better to wait 10 days for $10,000 or $12,000 or $15,000 or $22,000. Okay. Than it would be to take $5,000 10 days sooner. And those are the absolute facts. Whether you want to dispute it or say it or not, you believe in it.
Agree with that. We don't. That's a unique property. Unique is the nicest way to put it. It's a nice property, but it's definitely unique.
But those aren't the problems. The problem is we got a team member on our team that needs money now, and that's the problem to solve. The property, the market will solve its problem, 100%. And if we don't believe in a property, if we believe a property is going to be a rental, and we got a team member that needs to eat off his first lead, we write him a check and we get paid back on his next lead. And we get paid back on his next lead after that. And we get paid back on his next lead after that. We don't take it back all at once. We take it back in little increments at a time, because that's the benefit of working with us, not working for us. And if we do believe it's an assignment and it needs to be assigned, and that he could get money faster if he assigns it, then we say, let's try to get a $30,000 assignment for you. I'm going to help you do that, and I'm not going to take any money at all, because that's what I believe in my heart of heart will get you paid the fastest, is an assignment. And I think I can call a guy right now and he's going to pay 30 grand for it, and it's going to be done. And you're going to have 30 grand, and then I don't have to take the risk. But if in the event that these squirrely ass fucking daisy chain cocksucking assholes motherfuckers don't do it, we'll buy it anyways. We'll pay you $5 grand up front, and then we'll split the backside profit, just like we said that we would at the beginning. That's that conversation. Now, I don't know if that's a conversation you had. I don't care if that's a conversation you had. The reason why it makes me mad is because you have to figure out why you made that offer to Nick, but you didn't make that offer to Jeremy. And you know a little bit more about everybody's personal situation than you might need to or want to or whatever it is. You know what I mean? But it's a belief in the property that made you make that offer. It don't have anything to do with their financial situation, because we help people out. We've helped you out. You've helped us out. You've had to loan us money to pay bills. We've had to loan you money to pay bills. That's what being on a team looks like. Okay.
And you don't think I would do that for other team members?
I know you would, but you offered an assignment.
I did, because I thought that's what would help him the most on this one, and I guess I was wrong. Now let's do some other deals, because I want to clarify why I'm confused about a lot of this. Let's talk about Acton. That was our marketing, right? You paid for the marketing. They put out they did all the work, put out the signs. Yep. I went and locked it up. When we paid out on that deal, at the end of that deal, it didn't go quite the way we wanted. We probably could have made more money. We could have made a lot of different decisions. We could have done nothing to that, but we made a good lick, right? We had the conversation. You said, dude, I think we're overpaying for bandit signs.
We are.
I still don't understand what that means. And I'm going to put it in context, because then we move on to the next deal. When I called you last month and asked about this specific situation with needing to help these guys, and you're like, well, we've done everything could, not my problem, right?
You missed the meeting.
I missed one meeting. Yes.
Where we decided how we would set up, how we're going to help these guys.
I got all of that. I came back down the next day.
I was there. Keep
right.
going.
So I can't always make those last minute meetings. You know that. I try to be at all of them.
I get it. Keep going.
So I go completely the other way. I'm like, all right, guys, we're doing it this way. I personally.
You didn't set up how we were doing any of that, because you missed that meeting.
Okay. But I think I was ready on that.
No, stop. Because you want to know how this conversation went. We're overpaying for bandit signs. Is giving up 40% of a deal that I bought the bandit signs on, that I'm most likely bringing the money on, that I am doing like 90% of the kicks in the ass on, is giving up 40% of that deal overpaying for bandit signs? Because I want you to look, if we go stat for stat, if you look at it and we say, yes, we are overpaying for bandit signs. Okay.
I don't disagree.
Hold on, stop. We are absolutely, because DJ's got 17 high school friends that'll put them out for $10 an hour.
Yep.
I buy fuel, I buy the bandit signs, I put them out, I go on the appointments, I do the negotiations, we make all the money, we bring the money, we do the title issues, we do all of that, we make all the money, right? So if I'm paying out 40% of a deal because the bandit sign was put out by them, they got the contract, they did the title issues. If I'm paying out 40% of the deal, taking 35, splitting it with you, and taking 20 to guarantee the loan, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's what? 37.5% of a deal that we bought the marketing for, that we brought the money for, mm-hmm. that we brought the skill set to make the offer where it needed to be and everything else. We're only making 37%. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Why?
Because you wanted, Jason Witherspoon wanted to build a team and scale. You brought in other people that were helping you out. And you said, when we got to the end of Acton, you said, these guys worked really hard. I don't know how much to pay them. And I said, I don't know how much to pay them either. I have no idea, because I don't know how much work they didn't do, none of that. You know what I mean? Yep. But we got to be fair to them. So what did we pay? $6,500 a piece? Is that what we paid?
Yes.
What did I make on that deal? Corey Thompson.
I don't know.
$1,000. $1,000. $1,000. Okay. So we got two guys that made 6,500. Now, was that fair? I think it's more than fair. Is it overpaying for bandit signs? 100%. Because you know where that lead came off? Bandit signs that they did, that they put out in Granbury. It's 100% because the deal before that, the first Toller deal was a bandit sign that I put out myself.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That paid. I got the same 1,000. I got the same 1,000 on Toller as I did for Acton, as I will for any of these deals. It's the same 1,000 to me. But when you set it up and you said, I want to help these guys out, I'm looking at it and I'm going, $6,500 every once in a while isn't going to help these guys out. Right? And if we're going to be scaled, then we've got to be Walmart. We've got to do 10 deals and make a smaller portion of 10 deals and give them a bigger portion for the work they do. Otherwise, they're going to starve to death. And we're not going to have it.
Totally agree with you.
And so that's when we had the meeting to set the pay scale that they picked, we discussed, that you couldn't make because it was last minute. I'm not knocking you for it. You came in the next day, we showed it to you. It's a good pay scale.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great pay scale.
That wasn't on there.
I get that. I thought what I was offering was the best help I could. But I was wrong.
I get why. Now you need to get that you don't believe in the 130.
I don't know if it'll sell, but I think it'll sell for maybe 100. I just don't know. How do you comp that against anything? What we're comping there is a badass neighborhood with just a badass neighborhood. I mean, it's like Acton, except for this isn't a house compared to a house. This is a unique property, which is a house, and it's nice on the inside, but it still takes the right butt for that seat.
Yes, of course. Okay, I get it. That's not the problem. The problem is man needs money, so you just got to get money.
Look, 20 minutes ago, I agree. Okay, you want to pay a draw against it. I get that. We're still hashing the same thing out, so you can tell me I'm broken. I get it.
No, I want you to actually look inside your mind and figure out why you made that offer to Nick, but you didn't make that offer to Jeremy, and just figure it out for your sake. So you quit doing that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to treat a team member like that. You built the team. This is your team. You built them.
First of all, I brought in two guys. You brought in two guys. You brought in Cody and Nick. You brought in Cody and Nick on your contest for doing signs where you're going to have a contest with this guy from West Texas or Colorado or Arizona, wherever.
Yes.
You told me start taking them with you on every appointment. So I did.
Yes.
I did all of that. So I guess I brought them in that respect. But
you had Nick helping you with the first Cleveland deal.
What's that?
You had Nick coming out there and helping you with the first Cleveland deal.
Which
the one that I listed with Courtney that you said you were going to give to Cody Creamer.
I don't remember.
That came off your website.
Oh yeah, I paid him to come mow the lawn. That's right.
He cleaned the house out.
He
was around then.
Yeah, he got paid for that too.
Cody Creamer and Nick both came from the first Roughneck real estate deal in Tyler. That's where they came from.
Yeah.
That's where they came from. What they came for was an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to make money.
100%.
And we are providing that opportunity. Right? Now, nothing is perfect from day one. When, like, these guys, and these are conversations that me and you have where you're like, I don't know how much to pay for this. Right? You don't. And my response to you is you've been on the other side of this. How did it feel?
Oh, I get it. I don't know. I guess I look at that different, man. I mean, I get it.
You look at it different, but the guys that are on the other side of that from you don't look at it any different. They provided you an opportunity. They provided for your family. They gave you what you needed at that moment in time, and all of that. The truth of the matter is that we got to keep people from busting out of real estate, right?
100%.
With our skill set, with the action that we take every single day.
Yes.
Down the stream from me right now are people that sit in this office every day that depend on our production, mine and yours.
Yep.
so we can make their paychecks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On the backside of this, we got 400,000 I've already erased that we've also got to make. Okay. We set this up so we could scale and do 10 deals a month. So we could do 5 deals a month. So we could leverage other people's talents, that we can actually make this work. Not so that's not on the board. And if it is, if we do want to, if Jeremy comes to us and says, man, I know I have a buyer for this and we can assign it and it's in the best interest, absolutely. Absolutely. We're not even that deal stingy. You want to know why?
He has done that. He just wholesaled one that he had a buyer on.
I know, but that was one he got before we came in.
I got what you're saying. You're saying on a new lead coming in.
On a new lead coming in that we paid for the mail on. But there's, and I don't want to talk around it. It hurts me. It hurts me that you don't believe in this deal enough, that you don't think it's going to sell fast enough or whatever it is, that you're offering an assignment on it. That hurts because now it comes back the other direction. You don't believe in the deal enough, but you'll put us on it. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I get it.
Because you're looking at Pecos, you're looking at Pecos, you're looking at Euless, you're looking at all of those deals and basing your evaluation on that.
Well, I guess you're right. I'm trying to hurt my team members and the team. Like I'm trying.
You're not hearing it. You're not trying to hurt anybody. You're trying to get him money without having to write the check.
No, I know that check is going to come out of both of our pockets.
Right? Yeah. You're right. It is. But it's going to be a much bigger check that's going to come out of our pocket when it's 40% of 50,000.
That's fine. I don't care if it's 40%. I don't care about any of that. I mean, you
want to get him money now without writing the check.
What's that?
You just wanted to get him money now without writing the check.
I don't mind writing
the check. You don't want to write the check.
No, that's not true. That's not true. When you told me last month that if I felt like I owed him something, write him a personal check, I did. So you need to check. You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So
you don't know absolutely what you're talking about. I don't want to put this guy's business on blast, but you know plenty of it doesn't matter. Like you can say whatever you want.
We're at the yelling at phone conversation because this is something we're never going to agree on.
No, I actually want to agree on it because I do agree that I didn't believe in the deal enough to make that other offer. I agree with that part. What I disagree on is it sounds like you're telling me that I don't care about our team members enough to try to help them. And that's
no, I believe you do. I believe you thought this was helping him because you didn't believe in the deal enough, because you don't want to write the check, because you don't want to make the mistake, because you only focus on the negative deals that we've done, not the positive deals that we've done. And all of that comes back to the mindset of why you would focus on those things and not the good things. If you'll only think about the good things, only good things will happen. And if you don't believe that, I don't know where to tell you. Like me, I haven't looked at this deal, and I got more faith in it than you do. Want to know why?
Why?
Because I look at the comps. It's gonna fucking sell. And it's gonna sell fast. And it's gonna be a better deal than Fort Worth. The data's there. The problem is, I could go out there and look at it and I could say, oh, well, it's got a funny looking roof. It looks a little funny. It's going to take a selective buyer. I could whip out my crystal ball and I could go and I get really fucking anxious about it. And I could say, oh, it's going to be like Pecos. It's going to be like Cleburne. It's going to be like all of these bad, terrible deals that aren't that bad or terrible.
Yeah, none of those are that terrible.
So I could underwrite it like that. And I could say, well, we're buying it for 65. We're buying it for 65. We're going to have to rent it out. And we might have to stroke Nick a $5,000 check on it right off the front side. So we're buying it for 70. And I might have to rent that thing for $1,200 a month. I might have to rent it for $1,300 a month. I might have to rent it for $1,400 a month, whatever that rent is. And then I go look at it on a 30-year RAM, 6% interest Vizio loan. And now I'm realize, oh man, I'm going to make $400 a month. I'm going to be making $400 a month. Nick's going to get paid. We're going to have another rental in an appreciating area where we're going to get surrounded by $500,000 homes. It's going to get bought up and bulldozed, right? I'm set up. I'm doing good. I'm investing my ass off right now. And then I'm not worried about the check that I got to write on the front side to Nick. Not concerned about it. Like I'm not thinking about it, and I'm damn sure not talking to him about assignment because, I mean, when I first thought that goes in my head when you said assignment was we're going to open this thing up to the open market and assign it, which do I want to do it? I just think it's a waste of energy. You know what I mean? I think anybody that comes and looks at it's going to beat you down like you're beating it down right now, and that's what you're going to be up against. You're going to be up against a bunch of fucking blowhards that can't see it, won't see it. You know what I mean? Like it's a funky deal. It's in a town I've never heard of.
Oh, that's a slamming town, man.
It is a slamming town, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so if I'm underwriting that deal and I'm doing it on the merit of the deal, I can get Nick paid.
So I did underwrite it as a rental. That's how I underwrote it. Is we would have to rent this out
with Nick's 5,000 in it.
Yes.
Right, but it don't have to be an assignment.
That's fine. That's fine. I said I would do that earlier. It's not about not wanting to write the check. I just wanted to write him a check and get him paid as quick as possible.
I know what you wanted to do. I just don't. I'm not upset at you. I'm not upset.
All right. But that's okay.
You disappointed. I'm hurt. Like I'm hurt. Like it hurts me. It hurts. Like it bothers me. It bothers me to a point that you cannot realize, that you will not ever understand. Okay, that when you look at it, you had all the great intentions to do it the right way, right? You wanted to do it, but like, how do you make it right on the backside if it sells for $150?
Well, we could just pay him out on the back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same, but it doesn't matter. We've already discussed it. This is what we're going to do.
I mean, I get it. Like I get it, but I'm like, man, it's just a different little vibe with me. And I know it probably frustrates the hell out of everybody that's ever around me. That's why whenever I get out of here, I'm walking out the office. I'm going someplace else because it, like, if I'm like, whenever it, I don't know, I can't even articulate it without it coming out wrong. So
that's okay. So two things. One, I'm a terrible explainer, and I get frustrated when I'm trying to explain stuff, and so does Corey. So I think that's probably about 80% of me and Corey's arguments, and these are very real arguments that somebody's seeing right now. We have one probably once a month. This has been 2 this month, which is really, really rare. But we usually have one about once a month. So if people want to know the dynamic between Corey and Jason, 90% of the time it's normal business. We're talking about grab ass and stuff, and then we have these big dust ups.
Well, that's why we wanted to do the show, so we could show the big dust ups.
Absolutely, but this is true, and I dude, it's kind of like a marriage, right? I spend more time with Corey some days than I do my wife.
That's not true. We don't see each other hardly anymore because I never make it to y'all's neck of the woods because Emery's in school.
Well, but I'm talking on the phone. It doesn't matter what. My point is, a business is a marriage, right? Yes. Corey and Jacob were nice enough to extend this opportunity to me. And we have different, I don't think we have different like core values, but there's definitely different little things that we all have to compromise on and things like that. Because, I tell people all the time, Corey, I've never had more in common with somebody that I agree with on less things than Corey. But I mean that in the best way possible. Like we have the same background, that we come from the same kind of people. But we look at the world in such a different view some days. Like he looks at it this way, I look at it like I'm over here at 180 from that. and that doesn't mean either one of us is wrong. I mean, in Corey's mind, it makes me wrong, and in my mind, it makes Corey's wrong. But that's not true. What the reality is we're both built out of our experiences from the past. We're both built out of our perception of those experiences and our perception of the current situations.
I'm a student of, and this is what most people miss out. Like, I see more people bust out than make it in this business.
Sure.
Right. I just see it. And I get to be one of the fortunate ones to, like, literally a guy, I was on the phone with a gentleman from Grosbeck the other day. He was talking about his real estate. And he said there's been several times when the wolf was coming to his door. When the wolf was coming to his door, like the Grim Reaper, like the wolf's going to come eat him.
Yeah.
And he had already left. And he was going down a trail. And and him and the wolf's path would have crossed, and the wolf would have got him had the wolf taken a different trail. And that was the only difference between him busting out of the business and not busting out of the business, was the wolf didn't take the right trail. That's how close it's been.
So I was actually talking about this with Ron Harper the other day. These kind of stories and stuff are such a good visual. You should have somebody animate that and put it on Roughneck to Real Estate.
But so when I look at this, and I can name names if I wanted to, but in 2015, what changed this business was in 2016 we could all go live on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we built a following and a group and everything off of Facebook Lives, walking properties, because Jacob told me he liked to watch them while he was at work. That's it. It's the only reason I kept doing them, because Jacob liked to see the properties that I was looking at while he was at work, working a 9 to 5 in Houston. Since that time period, I can't tell you how many times the wolf has been at the door. You know what I mean? Like, it's, and we are able to get through it. We're able to get around it. We're able to, pull a deal out of our ass. We're just doing that. And now, while it doesn't feel like we can breathe like easy right now, like it still doesn't feel like we're over the hump. Like it, you know what I mean? Like most days it's still a very big uphill battle for us. Very big. I look at the people that bust out. I look at the people that don't take enough action. I look at the people that don't do the bookkeeping. I look at the people that listen to other people and watch other people and try to emulate other people, and it doesn't match their skill set. You know what I mean? We got two completely different skill sets, me and you, right? And we got two completely different work ethics and drive and motivation and family life. Like, you've got a wife. I don't have a wife. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many differences there. So
I think I'm going to take you to Mexico for the weekend and change that. We're going to get you a wife.
But for me to project what, my version of success onto you would be completely unfair for me to try to shove you into that box, right? You know what I mean? Like, oh, you need to go do 100 hours a week of work, or you're just, the biggest, shittiest player. And that's why whenever I watch guys like Grant Cardone and stuff like that, I get that not everybody's for everybody. Gary Vee's got a lot of good points. Grant's got a lot of good points. They don't agree on a lot. You know what I mean? And it's something that I watch and I'm a student of. And so whenever I start looking at why people bust out, what they don't have access to private capital, but they're trying to build a business that's based on somebody that's got pretty deep pockets and access to private capital. Somebody that's on the phone yesterday, and Brandon Richards comes up. Mm-hmm. Brandon Richards has life figured out. He does 5, 6, 7 deals a year, travels the rest of the time. You know what I mean? He's not over here trying to get 300 rentals like a Corey Thompson. He's living his best life. You know what I mean? So when I see that, and you see people want to come on your team and want to work with you, and I've told you this 100 times, we have to provide them with more opportunity than they provide us with.
Sure. Just like for me.
Well, 24/7, and because if we're ever not providing that opportunity, we're not going to attract what we want in this life. We're going to attract the fly-by-night people. We're going to attract the scam artists. We're going to attract the entitled, like, you remember when I had somebody very entitled in my ear all the time. You know what I mean? You remember how distracting that was.
I think you've had a lot of those people.
Well, yes, but yes. But it's shedding that off and getting it to where, like, I can focus on what's important. And what's important to me is feeding these families, feeding, giving you the opportunity to feed your family, giving Nick and Cody Kramer and all of them the opportunity to feed theirs, and also getting feedback from y'all and giving feedback, whether we like the feedback or not. You know what I mean? There's several times you give me great advice. You know what I mean? I didn't take it. And then I went on a smooth rant, you know what I mean? And it's hurt, you know what I mean? It's cost.
Well, I mean, it's really interesting, man, because I don't think my wife's telling me to shut up here, telling me I'm being too loud.
Wake it up.
Yeah, now the kids aren't sleeping now. They're on down to one nap a day. But we got them vaccinations yesterday. And if you want to figure out what it's like to wrestle two old up cats, take two 15-month-olds and try to get them vaccinations at the same time. Because
you got to do it at the exact same time.
Huh? That shit is a nightmare, bro.
because when one goes to squealing, I bet you the other one's like, well, hell, I don't want that. I need out here.
It's a nightmare. But so it's really interesting. I consider myself a study of people too, but in a different way. I grew up in an environment that was very much political. Everything was political. And to just survive your job every day was kind of a nightmare. And I wanted out of that life. And I can guarantee you the place that I worked was the most political place in the U.S. Army outside of the Pentagon at the time that I was there. It was what it was. There was hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars being thrown around, and everybody was out for somebody's job. So a lot of my negative habits that I have come from that environment where I'm constantly looking over my shoulder for somebody that was trying to take your job. And like literally you would have managers come in and be like, hey, write me up. I'll tell you what, I had a guy I worked with one time. This is one of the slickest moves I've ever seen. He had a lot more experience than me. My boss got bumped up. This guy was vying for his job. And at the time I had no aspiration. I'm just like, hey, no big deal. Yeah, go ahead, man. I didn't want that job. Right. This dude was so sharp because he knew I was the guy that got all the work done. He had my phone transferred to his office by the base command. He went to the base and had him transfer the phone so he could start intercepting those phone calls and become the go-between to insert himself. And I was so gullible at the time. I'm like, oh yeah, that's weird, man. They moved my phone. I didn't care because I just wanted to do work all day. Like I love being a technician. And so a lot of
I see that in your personality. Like I see where you get worried about, where it's like, I don't want to call it scarcity mentality because it
is a scarcity mentality. Dude, we went from justifying our job once a year to 6 months at a time to 2 months to 1 month to every 2 weeks. We had to do these huge write-ups to justify ourselves when all the sharks came for the money. That's when I left. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. It's 2 months. Like I can't feel this stress anymore. Like there was days where I would be so happy when I was leaving work on a Friday. Like I felt like a 15-year-old schoolgirl that just got asked out to prom. I'm like, yes. And then on Sundays, I realized I was picking fights with my wife, like for no reason, because I was too scared to go back to work the next day. Now that's a kind of horribleness that I don't wish on anybody. So
I get it, but like for me, like we had the conversation on a previous show where I said, I'm always looking. So when I'm a student of the people that busted out, why did they bust out? It's because I'm a book a week better than them.
Sure.
You know what
I mean?
Yeah. Why? And I'm not even like within our own structure. Like it's frustrating because whenever we have, like the other day, we have a deal where the refinance on the mobile home park just went haywire, and we started all like, hey, we're gonna go right now, and we're going to raise the private capital to take out our lender. And I was like, wait, hold on, like let's look at it. You know what I mean? Let's wait. Let's have a conversation with the lender. So we called lender right then, and we're like, hey, do you need your money back right now? Because he was expecting to get it back because the refi was about to go through. He's like, no, I don't need it back right now. And so we were trying to solve a problem right then that we didn't necessarily have to solve, because we had told a lender that that refi was going through at that moment in time. And so he was expecting his money back, you know what I mean, within the month, and he wasn't getting his money back. So the kind of people we are, we want to get him his money back. You know what I mean? But it was a problem that we didn't have to solve right then. We could go to our other bank that does all of our mobile home loans. We'd go to another bank. We were trying out a local bank. And I'll do a whole show on why we're never going to use the local bank again, because here's what a local bank knows. They know what you know about that neighborhood over there in
Yeah, you're right.
what's that neighborhood where the crackheads live?
Which one?
There's a lot of them, but that's what the local bank knows. You know what I mean? The local bank understands that when they will not look at the property based on income. They won't give the property a fair shake.
Well, no, because they're all local bankers, and then like to say it's the east side of Cleveland. Now, east side's on the come up, but we have our own experiences there, right?
Yes.
The local bankers, they grew up in town, and they still think about the east side that was the east side 20 years ago. They don't. It's those, just like you're saying about me. We all have our perception problems. They have those perception problems about specific neighborhoods. About, my aunt used to live there, or she lived on that street, and that house down there had crackheads in it. I bet that's the worst ever.
And that's what happened to us. So they deleted half of our income off the property, wouldn't give us credit for it. It's still appraised, but then they cut the loan amount that they would do. And that was the thing that for me, I was like, this is silly. You know what I mean? Like, this is silly. A national lender would not do this to us. They would not jimmy the appraisal in this manner, to where now we're in this hole we're in. So we went to another lender, and
the craziest part is they just didn't tell you, I don't want to do the loan. They make you do the loan process. They make you do loan fees.
But
I mean,
yes, pray for an appraisal, all that. But the crazy part was within our own structure. It's like we were solving problems that we didn't yet have, and when we do that, you know what I mean, whenever it's something that we look at and we want to pick at, and we want to, you know what I mean, like at the beginning of this show, whenever me and you got started, I was like, those aren't the problems. We need to get them rented fast. All the stuff that we can't control no more is off the books. Like, what we can control is the only thing we're going to worry about. And within our everybody, I'm the person that's always like, I don't want to say optimistic, but it's like,
no, you are.
Well, we'll solve the problems we got. Like, we know we got this problem. Let's solve it. You know what I mean? Like, if this isn't a problem yet, you know what I mean? It's not. Now, you don't want to be in a situation where you're leveraging against somebody on your team, or a lender that's helped you out. You don't want to be manipulative in the process. Like, you want to be fair. But that's why, whenever I talk about the books we read and all that, that's where all that comes out at. You know what I mean? That's where it helps. That's where all the knowledge of the last 4 years of actually reading and studying and being a student of those who bust out more than students of those who do good. I study the people who bust out 10 times more than the people who are Facebook famous and trying to project whatever their business is. I love their business. Like, I love what they got going on, but I can't, I'm not going to be them. I'm not going to be doing 100 deals a month ever. You know what I mean?
Have you ever watched there's a YouTube channel that is just about the biggest blunders in business in the world. It's fantastic. They got an economics guy that'll break down, like, when Coke decided to do New Coke. And was it the biggest blunder they ever made, or the smartest marketing move they ever made? Because they came back with original Coke and they were 100 times bigger, right? Like, overnight. I think you would really like that channel. I just want to throw that out there. It's really interesting.
Well, and that's the kind of stuff that it takes. But, when me and you get in lock horns like this, it's because I've paid so much attention to those that didn't make it. And, not because it's like, do I feel fortunate to have made it in this business? Yes. But do I know why? Do I know the reality of it? Absolutely. Like, I have enough self-awareness to know that we have a tremendous amount of private capital and more showing up every day that allows us to do deals in areas where nobody else can buy one. You know what I mean? That allows us the opportunity to skin back money that nobody else can make. And then we do have a skill set in multifamily and mobile homes that can help create the passive income and create the generational wealth that people talk about. But we also have a huge fucking team. You know what I mean? We have a fabulous, phenomenal bookkeeper in Jacob. It's not even his first trade. You know what I mean? Without Jacob, there's none of this. You know what I mean? We don't even get a whiteboard if we don't have Jacob. So it's like, I never take those things for granted. So when I see people out there and they're talking about their business, yesterday Blake asked me about a business that I knew nothing about, and I'm like, God, think about it like this. And he was talking about building storage units. I'm like, the parts of that business that I don't understand is you build something from scratch. You build it 100% from scratch. You got 400 units there, 400 storage lockers sitting there, and you built them. Okay. There's the first customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you get the first customer through the gate? Is it a drive-by? Is it a Google ad? Is it a Facebook ad? Is it a grand opening? And how do you get, if you got 500 doors, how do you get an 80% occupancy rate? How do you get 400 new customers? And does it take a year to get 400? Does it take 6 months? Does it take 1 month? Because I see the transparency of the business, like of the back end of the business, the refinances and all that, but I don't see the short term, like actual meat and potatoes of what I would wonder about, because you've got to carry the carrying cost of building it. You've got to carry the carrying cost of getting it occupied. And I don't understand how that works.
So that's really interesting. So I built a couple of, right before I went full time on this, before I had my health issues, I was building public storages down in Houston. I don't know if you know that. Like I can show you the ones I built down there. There's one in Cypress and one down the road, that big loop or whatever it's on. But I asked those same questions. I'm like, how do they fill this? I was asking these questions, and they're like, well, we severely discount the stuff to get the building filled with an automatic renewal rate at this amount, which is really smart. But they fill by floor. They actually go through and they only fill one floor on purpose, these multi-floor facilities.
Yeah.
So they and there's a whole structure to it. But it's interesting because those are the kind of things I want to know too. Like when I'm in.
Yeah, like somebody, is the money, like the question was posed to me, is the money better in self-storage than it would be whatever? And I'm like, cost per square foot, you could build self-storage for way less than you could build any single family, and they rent for almost the same price per square foot. The problem, in my mind, isn't in a recession whenever the economy crashes and all of that. It's you build something, it's brand new. How do you get it to full? What's that timeline? And can I weather the storm long enough? Do I have enough passive income? Do I have enough? Can I wholesale enough deals to service that debt until it's full, until it supports itself?
I think there were, so I don't remember the exact numbers, but because I was talking to the GC, but it was like a 2 to 3 year cash on cash return for that whole facility.
Yes, no, that's exactly what happens if it's a cash play, because you're building it for $20, $25 a square foot, and you're renting it for 75 cents a square foot. So, you're doing phenomenal, but you got to get it 100% occupied.
Right.
And location probably matters with it more than anything, but I don't understand any of that. You know what I mean? I can sit around and chop it up with you about it right now, but I can't give you sound advice on building storage units. I know the guys who do it. They might answer your questions. They might not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they field questions. Like,
I bet it'd be easy to pick a fight with them.
Oh yeah, you could definitely argue with them on the internet if that's what you're going for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that's the part where I haven't read into it or anything like that. Just watching from afar, and I see stuff being built from the ground up, and I know that there's a construction loan that when you have other properties to help service those debts on the construction, you got an advantage over a guy like me and you that would have to build it from scratch and service that debt ourselves out of exchanging our time for money. You know what I mean? And so you can't like, you got to touch every chapter on the way up. You got to go from chapter 1 to 27, but you got to speed read every one of them. You can't just go to 27 and start building storage units because you feel all willy-nilly unless you've got enough capital and enough time to debt service that out. Now, how they do that, I ain't got no earthly idea, but I also don't pretend to.
Well, so to try to encapsulate that, the one thing I would say, what's up, Mr. Shane? Speaking of dudes that have written me a check to pay my rent before, there's one of them.
Look, man, you don't have to I don't want that to be my intro. You can say my friend Shane.
Shane, yesterday, here's a funny story about Shane. Yesterday, we're getting ready to go to the tax auction. I call Shane. I'm like, Shane, do you got 30,000? Yeah, I got 30,000. Shane hangs up with me, calls Jacob. Jacob, do I got 30,000?
Well, I knew that there was 30,000 somewhere. I had a different 30,000 that I could spend, if it came to it. But the first 30,000 that I wanted to use was in Jacob's possession.
That's awesome. So
I was like, all right, like you know what I mean? Like what he committed, so that's all I needed was the commitment.
We'd have made it happen.
can I take my own?
The thing I learned yesterday was this is something I really needed to know. The last time we bought at a different auction because it was that special auction, we had till the end of the day. When you're at the auction there, they give you 1 hour to get the money.
Oh yeah, that would have been a big problem.
That would have been where we hit where the rubber met the road yesterday.
What happens if you don't have the money in that hour? Does it go back on the next auction, or do they call the person that made it?
They're gonna wait for that money. They're gonna wait for that money. When it comes to the money, they'll when they know you got it, they'll wait. If they think you're bullshitting, they'll probably I don't know what happens. I don't know what they do, but it would go back to the auction. It would go back to the auction. I don't know if they call up the guy that bid second in that time. I don't know if they keep that good of track of it.
They ever got your info?
Oh yeah, they make you fill out a bidder sheet so they have your info, and they would know that what the previous bid was. So maybe they call the person that came in second and see if they still want it.
So hey, two things we need to do. One, because these things get really long, but I appreciate them being long because it's cut down a lot of rando calls between me and you during the day. Like I feel like I bother you less with stupid questions.
Well, that's why I wanted to do it like this because I think anybody that sits here and watches 2 hours of this is going to get their money's worth.
Dude, I love these talks. Like I've been telling my wife that I love this morning deal because me and you get a lot of stuff out of the way and we can go do work and we tag back up. One, I would like to talk about struck off sales, struck off properties on one of these episodes because you know a ton about that, way more than I know. You may not know a ton, but you know a ton more than I know.
Dude, I bet you Logan plays that game. I don't know that he does, but I bet you that's a straight Logan game. Because struck off always gets struck off for a reason, and nobody goes. It's such a time intensive deal because they don't have addresses on them that you could go into there. You go into that wormhole, and you look around. There's gonna be a lot of landlocked properties, a lot of properties, that are in bad areas. A lot of properties without water, flood properties. There's a reason why they didn't sell at the first auction.
Yep.
There's some that didn't sell at the first auction simply because the area wasn't hot enough at the time that I bet you it's scalding as hot now. So if you can go find that, you can literally at a small town like Corsicana. Yesterday, there's a lady there struck off property on the tax roll for $12,000 or $1,200. Opening bid $1,200. Two people bid it over $9,000. Vacant lot. Tell me what research they did to know that they could pay $9,000 for a lot that was on the struck off list for probably years. So basically somebody did their research and knew that they were about to.
So that was my point. Like you can go in once you look at the struck off research, and I didn't realize there's this huge list of struck off properties out there. You were the one that taught me that. So you can go in and find those and request them to come back up into the auction. And they have to bring them up. There's a process to do it, but they have to bring them up for auction if you request it.
Yes. One sold for $300 yesterday.
That's amazing, right? And that may have just been a neighbor that was tired of somebody not mowing that empty lot. We don't know.
Family land.
There you go.
She went and found her grandma's old house. Had it put back on there. They tore down the house, so it's just a lot. But she wanted it. She had it put back on. Bought it for $300.
That's awesome. Now she's gonna spend $300 mowing it next month.
Dude, I was laughing because who was it? I was Blake. Blake came yesterday and he was like, "I love that lady's strategy of crying in front of everybody." Because
nobody buy against her.
Well, when it came up, she started hyperventilating and fanning herself, which ain't nobody. It was the second to last property. Nobody. At this point, we're all just spectators. You know what I mean? Like we're not here to bid. So she's started crying, fanning herself. She's did the opening bid, and then some jackass over here bid against her, and she just melted down. Then it was audible, loud, and we're all like, "Come on, guy, don't be that dude." You know what I mean? So she bid the second bid, and he was just like, "Oh, I'll let her have it." But yesterday, the house that sold for $10,700, yeah. I could have bought that house. I was at 20 on that house, buying it. I was at 20. didn't even. I quit. I got in the bidding when there was a white dude in the back, and I knew he was an investor. He was kind of an out of town guy, and he started bidding on it. But it was in like the, I don't know how to word it. Like it was in the bad part of town. Like
Yeah.
it's in part of town where they bulldoze all the houses. There's nothing around it, and they're actually starting to build new houses, but there's just nothing happening over there. It's like you wouldn't buy this house to flip ever. You know what I mean? Like it would never make a flip house. It's going to be a rent house, or it's going to be an owner occupied. And I could tell the other two people that were bidding on it, like once, because when he got in, I got in because I was like, well, this out of town guy's not leaving with it. You know what I mean? But the other two people that started the bidding, they were going to move in that house. You knew they were going to move in that house. You know what I mean? Like it's either a rent house or you're moving in. Those are the only two things you're going to do with that. You're not going to flip that house. And anyways, so I would like basically I won't bid against people that I know are going to move into a house if I know that's why they're there. You know what I mean? They're just no, they can pick up a house to live in. Like I've made a deal in my head that I'm not going to bid against them. But the out of town investor, like I'll muscle him off. So as soon as he seen me get in on the bidding, he let it go. And then the two families that were bidding against each other, it would stall, and then he would jump back in. And as soon as he would jump back in, I'd jump back in. And he realized that I was always going to get him one better. You know what I mean? Like he was going to be bidding against me and not them. And so he backed off. And so that's why it sold for 10.7.
But they bought it, the people that lived in it?
Yes, one of the families that was going to live in it. It was pretty obvious. I mean, what I mean? Like they showed up, didn't bid on anything else, never raised their hand. And, it's like a husband and wife and a husband and wife. You know what I mean? Older, like, you just know they're not investors. So
when I went back, when the first and only time I've ever bid at the auction, because I just never been my game. It should be. I need to learn that game. There's a guy here in Cleveland. I haven't seen him in the last couple of years when I've been, but every time when I first started out, 2001-ish, this old dude would go down there and his bid was always and one. So you'd be like, oh, I'm at 10,000 and one, and he would just do that until people were ready to fist fight him, and he would just run everybody out. Like, I mean, it was a deal, but I've seen that dude do that to people that were trying to buy back their family land. He just didn't get. He gave two shits about
family land. If you mess up and get so let's say we're going through, and there's a process to get the money back, and I don't know the process to get the money back. But if my family land's on the auction, and you're bidding against me, I've got to come up with the money that day, but I'm going to get all the overages back.
If you're trying to buy your own,
yes. If I'm trying to buy my own, if I have rights to that property, and I bid it up, I'm getting all my money back. So we can go to $1 million. I'll have to come up with $1 million at the end of the day.
And I don't think people know that.
And well, look, if you don't know that, you need to learn it right now. Right now, if you're at the tax auction or foreclosure auction, if you're bidding against the bank, or I don't guess somebody that's going through foreclosure is going to show up and buy their property back. But in a situation where there's multiple heirs on a tax property, which is normally what's happening, the rich family member will show up and they will bid, and they're going to get all their money back. You know what I mean? Like they're going to get it all back. They have to file and go through the courts to get it back, to show that they were the ones that bid it. You know what I mean? That it's their money, that none of the other heirs have a right to it, but they're going to get it all back. Now that I haven't researched that. That was explained to me by an attorney, because I watched a lady walk up on the courthouse steps and buy a property when half the state of Texas was there. Half the state of Texas attorneys were there. It was 89 acres, and she bought it for $84,000. And she literally took a walker up the stairs, sat down in a walker, and when they realized, all the attorneys realized that's who they were bidding against, they have the intuition to know that, oh, she's part of the family. You know what I mean? Like this ain't an investor. She didn't show up here for that, and they quit bidding, and she won it. Now tell me why all the attorneys in Texas will quit bidding on a property.
Because they know she can bid it forever.
They know she can bid forever, and she gonna get her money back. They get stuck, hung up there on a high bid. There's high bid. It's just a pointless exercise. Now me, I didn't have the money. If I'd have had the money, I'd have bid her up. So I'm dumb. You know what I mean? But that was it. So I've seen that happen.
Hey, two other things, because I know you're about to get dropped off here. You get that look like you're about done. And huh?
I am about done.
So two things. One, we didn't talk about lawnmowers today, and I'm sad about that because I haven't been part of this ridiculous shenanigans that have been going on. But that's one thing.
My
Two.
life has been threatened. My life has been
I
threatened.
know you were threatened by multiple people. I saw that post.
It's like, dang it.
I even saw his friends jumping in and threatening your life. That's a whole different
It's no way to be.
thing. I mean, but if they do it at PTA, at least there will be witnesses. You probably
Trooper in the building. Like there'll be a state trooper in the building. I look at that's one of the mindset things. Like I could recommend if y'all are watching, if you the dudes that are going to beat me up or watching, I recommend that y'all go read some books, get some emotional intelligence, and come back down. Like there was a time when I thought my ability to fight really had a lot of value. You know what I mean? Had like a real intrinsic value, but that was because I was hanging out in the wrong crowd. Like it has some value when you're in fight or flight and you can't flight. It has some value, but I promise you, there's not a place on planet Earth right now that you could catch me. Because not like if I'm at an ice cream parlor with my daughter and you come in there to whoop my ass, you're getting something else. You know what I mean? Like
maybe
it might be ice cream. You know what I mean? But like you're getting something else. You're getting something else. You're not getting that opportunity. You're getting something else. Like I'm there with my daughter. You're getting something completely different than you came for. And I would say that that's 90% of men in our age range. You know what I mean? 20-year-olds fight. 30-year-olds don't have to. So it's just it's not where I'd be, not what I'd be doing.
Well, that's been interesting to watch play out because I'm not ever really part of your the only wars I have with Corey are the ones we have personally, but in the best way possible.
Yeah.
The two, I feel like at some point we need to talk about Tekashi, but
I don't know I don't know that guy. I did run across a really good song though. So I don't know if you know this, but on Apple Music you can follow people. You can follow your friends. And so you can get my playlist and I can get your playlist. So I had somebody else's playlist on it. It was Taylor Swift and Truth Hurts. And I was like, this Truth Hurts song is good, great. Like this is my anthem.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm just so it's kind of like the Amber Geyer thing, right? Like I don't want to bring like
I don't know what that is.
That's a chick that murdered that guy in his own apartment. Like the cop in Dallas. Like she just got convicted of murder yesterday.
I'd seen somebody got convicted of murder, but I didn't know why.
Oh,
it was really bad.
She came in after a shift, parked on the wrong floor, walked into somebody's apartment that was unlocked, thought she was in her own house, and just smoked him in the middle of the room. And then if you listen to the voice transcripts, which you should, because it's crazy. This lady had a freaking police radio. She didn't administer aid. She's calling on the phone saying, "Oh, my life is screwed up now." Like she let this dude bleed out. It's terrible. Yeah. Anyways, like I do think we should start off by talking about current events. Maybe that's a lawnmower. Maybe that's Blair Barger. Maybe that's Tekashi 6ix9ine. I don't know.
It would have to be my own current events because
yeah. I'm kind of messing with you, man. But
what? No, there was a post that I got involved with where a lady, there was a disabled veteran getting an award from the president, and she commented. I mean, she's obtuse, like she's just silly, but she commented, she's like, at least he didn't grab him by the pussy. Talk about the disabled veteran. But she was completely oblivious to the fact that she just implied that a disabled veteran had a pussy. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, there are ways to be mad on the internet. This is not one of them. And so, but she's like, and I was on that post. I was like, lady, like I get it. They're
taking the celebration off the fact that the veteran was a hero and making it some political statement when it should just be about something very simple.
Well, I don't. This is just. I don't even know. I don't know enough about politics to know if the president is required to give the reward awards, or if it has to. You know what I mean? Like if it's just something that happens. But I assume that he's the commander in chief. Like it's probably in his job role that he has to hand out these things. You know what I mean? Or maybe he don't. Maybe he don't. But it wasn't mainstream news that it was on. It was just some fly by night site and that on a shared post, and she's insulted the veteran trying to insult the president, which she has every right to insult the president if she wants to. It doesn't matter. It's just you can't when you insult the veteran, like everybody from both sides are going to jump on you like, hey, you're being stupid. You know what I mean? And so yeah, she kind of set a bear trap for herself.
Yeah, that happens a lot on the internet. There's a lot of Karens out there that want to voice their opinion, and the moment that opinion comes out, they realize it was the wrong one.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I said something the other day that after I said it, I was like, Blake brought it up. He's like, it looks like you just stole this dude's girl, and I was like, well, that's not what happened at all.
It does kind of look like that to everybody outside. I know you and Blair aren't dating. Like y'all have there's no way.
Well, I mean, there is a way, but I mean, we value our friendship way more than we would,
Sure.
She wouldn't like if me and Blair dated, it would be her mad at me because I was talking to other hoes. You know what I mean? Like then I would be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. Like,
yeah, she seems too nice for you. I'm just kidding.
It's not that she's too nice. I mean,
I've only
I was going to try. Honestly, here's something else I thought about. Like when all this stuff went down the very first time, Blair recommended I listen to this podcast, and so I listened to the podcast, and it was such a good deal that it inspired this between me and you. And I actually at that time, because Blair and him were broken up, like it was that little week. Anyways, they were broken up. I was like, man, Blair would make a great guest host. Like just because. Like me and her get each other's sense of humor, like big time. So we would have people really, really freaked out. But
well, you do need some more guest hosts on here that ain't. I mean, that ain't the same ones all the time. Like the Avi the other day was awesome. That lady you had whose husband looks like he could kill all of us. She was very awesome. The roofing lady, the roofing rapper,
Kimba.
Yes. I mean, I was watching that one on the go that day. I also want to try out my on the go rig at some point here. We need to try that out offline, see if it works. Just do a test call.
I like shooting from the hip.
All right, we can do that too.
But we'll wrap it up. I appreciate anybody that hung out. I would say share this all around, but you do what you want to do. I've got to get our ClickFunnels set up for the Vegas Mastermind today. So Greg Harris in the Roughneck Real Estate Group reached out to me. I agreed to let another guy do it, but then it got kind of squirrely on when we were going to be able to pay and how we were going to be able to pay, and like if he was going to get a piece of the gate and like all this kind of stuff. And then Greg's been in Roughneck Real Estate the whole time. I didn't even know he did ClickFunnels. So if you don't know Greg, you need to. Greg appreciates our level of trolling. He's out of Kansas, and you need to go look and check him out because that's who I'm going to be talking to most of the day. I'm going to go eat lunch right now, and then I'm going to start working with Greg to get that built out. So, put together that so people have a place to pay. People keep asking me for a place to pay, and I don't have one. And I've got the speakers lined out, though, or not speakers. I don't want to call them speakers. Got to come up with a new name. What's a great name for speaker that isn't speaker, Spoon?
I don't know. I mean,
really and truly, it's all friends.
It's mentorship is what it is. It's not really. I mean, these are mentors coming in to drop some knowledge, but they're not really acting in that capacity.
Well, dude, these guys are just givers. Dennisito,
that guy's a beast.
Dennisito posts make you more money if you can get what he's talking about on a post. You can make money.
Incredible.
Because my problem is when I first started hearing about all that stuff, I would go too fast. Guy would go in and make the offer. You know what I mean? I'd make the cash offer, owner finance offer. I'd just bow. And then they'd be confused because they don't know what any of that stuff means. You know what I mean? You gotta make the cash offer and make them turn it down. Or you gotta make your offer and make them turn it down. If your offer is owner finance, you gotta make them say no to that. You know what I mean? You can't make 40 offers and say pick between all 40. They won't know what any of it means. They'll get overwhelmed and your seller will shut down on you. So it's a gold nugget right there at the end. I appreciate it, Spoon. I don't know what I don't know what I got going on today other than that, but tomorrow I'm gonna try to put something up for the Emery's mom just got in touch with me. I think she's gonna get Emery tomorrow, so we might do something in the Burleson area for the cool kids tomorrow. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, later.
Bye.